There's only one station in the D, local and loyal to the people.
WGPR Detroit, serving the African American community for over 50 years. Hot 107.5. Hot 107.5.
What up, though? I'm from the land of opportunity, the Motor City. D-Town, hold it down, so I gotta get it. Growing up, they always told me that the sky's the limit. I'm spacebound and flying out 1,000,000 miles a minute. From the west all the way to the east side. We all family, it don't matter where you reside. On the block, way more than the street signs. Tell me where you're from, go ahead and throw it up. From the Coney off Evergreen all the way to the Riverwalk. Mac and Bewick, let me see it. Avenue of Fashion, Belle Isle, get wild to the spirit. In Detroit, it's us versus everybody. You don't really have a choice, but I do this for my sisters and my brothers that know the struggle's holding it down for our single mothers and single fathers that just want to see us go farther. So we go harder and grow smarter. Cause
it's my smile, it's my pain. I just shine in the rain. When the odds stacking up, I get down in the mud. It's the spirit, it's the joy. You can tell I'm from Detroit. I look around like I need town with me, and I stay so rooted in my city. I am Detroit, I'm just Detroit for life.
It's the first Sunday of the month, and you know what that means? It's time for Detroit for Life, the radio show that allows you to tap into opportunities offered by the city, all because you live in Detroit. Welcome to Detroit for Life. Here are your hosts, Vicky Thomas and Dodie Johnson.
Well, good morning, good morning. Of course, when you hear my voice
and then my voice,
and you hear somebody laughing in the background, you know that it's the first Sunday of the month. We are on WGPR Hot 107.5, and this is Detroit for Life. The wonderful and effervescent Vicky Thomas at the helm, representing the mayor's office for the city of Detroit. What's going on, Vic?
Hey, you know what? We're winding down with the election. I hope people get out and vote today. It's the last day of early voting, and I can't wait for the campaign ads to be over myself.
Yes. Yes.
But please vote. Vote. Exercise your right to vote. I voted absentee ballot, so dropped mine in the mail, and I was a little mad at myself because I wanted to get it in earlier, but then I'm like, I looked at the ballot, and you have to look up people. Some of those races, you don't know any of the candidates, and so I had to do my due diligence, so it took me a little longer. So I enjoyed this, though. I think people have no excuse now. I mean, there's no excuse.
And, I'm old school, so, I'll be there.
You'll be in line on
Tuesday morning
Tuesday.
at 8 o'clock. I am old school. The mail thing, I think one time I did it at the at one of the municipal buildings. It didn't feel the same. I didn't feel like I did my part.
Yeah.
So I'm old school in that regard. But they definitely, if you're watching TV, they definitely are shaming people that have not taken voting seriously. They're saying, we don't care who you vote for. But if you don't vote, your neighbors are going to know. Everybody's going to know you didn't vote. So, they're going to shame you into getting there one way or the other.
That's right. And so, we are all about providing opportunities for Detroiters at the city of Detroit. As you know, the Detroit for Life campaign really focuses on all the great programs that residents can take advantage of, as well as business owners. And in that regard, I'd like to welcome to the program Madison Schillig. Did I get it right, Madison?
Yes, you got it right.
She is the director of Motor City Match with the DEGC, Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. And we also have Annette Anderson, and she is a recipient of a Motor City Match grant to help her business, First Step Healthcare Training. Welcome to the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Madison, first of all, before we get to Annette, talk about Motor City Match and the difference that Motor City Match has made in the Motor City.
Yeah, so Motor City Match, we're working with entrepreneurs from all over the city, and we are working with them from all the way from an idea, a concept, all the way through opening their doors. And so we're really happy to have invested $19.1 million in cash grants to residents in the city.
Wow.
85% of those are minority-owned, 70% of those are women-owned, and 67% of those are owned by Detroit residents. So we're really excited to be doing the work that we're doing.
All right, and tell me, how many businesses have you been able to assist through Motor City Match? And I know that there are different levels. There is the grant, and then there's technical assistance. So talk a little bit about what you offer under the program.
Yeah, so we've awarded over 2,000 businesses across all tracks. We just actually, a couple weeks ago, opened our 170th business in the city. So we have another ribbon cutting this week. So we're coming up on 176. But there are 4 tracks of the program. So the first track is the plan track. So we're offering assistance to those individuals who have a great idea, have a great concept, but they haven't gotten it on paper yet. They haven't formalized it. So we are putting them through classes and workshops to get those business plans established so that they can get on their way to being transactional. The next track is the develop track. And so that track, we are taking business owners who have been transactional in pop-up spaces, home-based businesses, web-based businesses, and are looking for a brick-and-mortar space. And so we're working with them to figure out what neighborhood do you want to be in, how much rent can you afford, how many cups of coffee do you have to be able to sell each day to be able to pay your rent, pay your employees, pay yourself. And so we're offering $3,500 in technical assistance for that track. The next track is the design track, and so businesses that have a letter of intent, a lease, or a deed, business plan for their idea, and then also a realistic budget, startup budget for that space exactly. We will connect them with architects and engineers to get them a set of drawings so that they can be pulling permits and doing the appropriate build-out that they need to be doing, and so that's $25,000 in technical assistance. And then the final track is the cash track, and so that track basically it's once you have that business plan, once you have those drawings and you are, a realistic budget, we are providing gap financing in the form of a grant to get you fully across the finish line and open. I would also like to mention that we have the CVI track, so we're working with individuals who are connected with the CVI organizations in the city, and so once we relaunch, that will be up again for another round, and so we're excited to be offering that again.
Oh, that's awesome. And tell me, what do you get out of this, Madison? I mean, I know I love my job and being able to bring you guys on and talk about the opportunities that are available to Detroiters, and then seeing the difference that these programs make in the lives of Detroit residents. So that's the joy I get out of being able to lead the marketing campaign. So what do you get out of this?
I get the opportunity to meet incredible individuals like Annette. I get the opportunity to work with these businesses. I mean, you see them when they still have, plywood on the windows and all of those things, right? All the way through to their ribbon cutting when their families are there, their friends are there, and everyone's able to celebrate them. And so it's really a great full circle moment. And we're excited to be a part of that journey throughout it all with them. And then being able to frequent those businesses and stop in and check up is just really, really rewarding work.
And Annette, let's get to you. So the Detroit for Life marketing campaign, we highlight programs that are available to Detroiters, and Annette is now our new face for the campaign that focuses on Motor City Match. Tell me about your journey, Annette.
Well, I was born and raised in Detroit, grew up on the east side. I now reside on the west side. My journey was not typical. I ended up getting pregnant at the age of 15, dropping out of school in the 9th grade, and I didn't really know what my future was going to entail for me. Met an incredible mentor who talked life into me, who told me that I can become something. So I ended up getting a GED, becoming a CNA, and then a nurse. And on my 7th year of nursing, I decided I wanted to open a business to start training other people to get into the healthcare field like I did and give them the resources. And I stumbled upon Motor City Match, and that was the best thing I could have ever did, because it has helped me throughout my entire entrepreneurial journey, where it has not seemed as hard as it could have been due to their help.
Right, yeah, just getting the knowledge and the know-how to get that business open, and like you were saying, Madison, helping people just even with the idea. Because I think that's half the battle. If you have an idea but you don't have the business plan, it's kind of hard to get going.
Yeah, we find you can't even reach out for lending in other instances, right? Because even we require a business plan because we know that there's importance in having that down on paper and having a plan so that people aren't kind of, putting the cart before the horse. And two, we see that with the CDFIs in the city, so the community development financial institutions, which are character-based rather than credit-based. So they are more likely to lend to small businesses, but they still require business plans. And so that's the foundation of it all.
And Annette, talk about your business. What do you do? And when did you open your business?
I own First Step Healthcare Training that's located at 7800 West Hyder Drive. It's a healthcare training school. So right now I specialize in CNA training and phlebotomy, CPR, and BLS. I train
What's
them,
BLS?
Basic life support.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like for healthcare providers for CPR. I teach individuals on how to get into the healthcare field. I train them to take the SET exam. So all their training goes through me, and then I help them get employed. I opened up my business January 17th of this year, and it has been a very fast process. I'm already on my 9th cohort for my CNAs, and I just added on my phlebotomy programs on my 2nd cohort. It has been amazing. So students can come into my class for 2 to 3 weeks, learn the information, get trained, and then take a SET exam and get employed in less than a month.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
Oh, great. Yesterday, I had my 8th cohort graduate, and I had this incredible student. She was 16 years old. She was taking college courses while she was in high school, taking my class. I gave her mom a lifetime scholarship and told her whatever program I offer, she can come here and take for free, because to see amazing people like that, I love it. And you can go to my program starting at 16 up to any age. I just want to help as many people as I can get employed and educated.
And so, as part of your journey, when you look back on just the struggles you had to overcome, what do you? I mean, you have to be proud of yourself, and I mean, to me, you're like a role model for people who think, oh, I got pregnant early and didn't finish high school, and I have no future. But you had that person that lifted you up and mentored you to say you can do anything you want to do.
Yes, and so right now she's currently suffering from dementia, so I tried to honor her by doing exactly what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to give back because she pulled me from a dark place where I see no hope. So I'm doing the exact same for people in my community. I'm pulling them up like, hey, you can make it to that finish line. You got this. I'm going to help you get there, and I'm going to make sure you succeed, because you don't have to stay where you are. There's opportunities for you. You just need somebody to tell them to you.
So after you became a CNA, then what was the next step? What was your journey like then?
I immediately enrolled in college to become a nurse, because I was like, oh, yeah, this is my passion. I love this. So I was taking my CNA classes and taking nursing classes, and I immediately became an RN, and I've been doing that for the last 7 years. I do want to just say, because of Motor City Match, I was able to retire from nursing and focus full-time on my business. So that is very, very exciting for me.
All right. And Madison, how can people find out more about Motor City Match?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, MotorCityMatch.com, there's an opportunity to sign up so that when we relaunch Round 28 here in the next couple of months, you'll be on a list to get an email blast about that, and we'll have applications open, and there's applications for each track, and so you'll be able to apply to one of those. And then once you complete that application, you'll receive a confirmation email, and then we'll be in touch in the next couple of weeks once we're completing scoring.
All right. And Annette, how can people find out more about First Step?
Yeah, so they can go onto my website at www.firststephealthcaretraining. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can put in 1ST or First, the way it's spelled out, and look up information about me. You will see that people enjoy my classroom. It's a great time. I offer mentorship included with the program. There's no high school diploma or GED required to get into my class. I'm just here to help them.
And I know I asked you this morning if you had seen your billboard yet, but you haven't seen it. I've seen it.
I have not. I've been working so hard. I have not been outside, but we're going to take a journey through Detroit today to see everything that I am on.
And how does it feel like to be the face for this campaign?
Honestly, so I keep saying, like, I really hope that my mom is proud because I know I gave her a lot of trouble as a child. So it feels amazing.
You just acknowledged that right up front.
Yes.
Heartfelt.
I gave her a lot of trouble as a child. So it feels amazing to know that I was able to turn my life around. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I know how it feels to just not do the right things because you might be growing up in a toxic environment, a negative environment. But when you got somebody who care about you, you turn around. And I want to see this for everyone I encounter. I just can't wait to see the impact I leave on so many people. Like, I'm very proud.
And I know, how many students have you had so far since January 17th?
I've had over 35 students. Right now I have my class that's coming on Monday. There's 14. So it's going to be a nice group of students that I get to also help.
And what do you think of the program, Motor City Match?
Oh, I told you, Motor City Match is amazing. Anything that I can be a part of to promote them, anybody I can tell, I'm literally telling everyone I come in contact with that has a business or think about a business, hey, Motor City Match is your first place you need to go to, because they are going to walk you through the steps and help you. They really just want to help you. And it's not hard. They just want to make sure you're serious about it. It was one of the best decisions I could have ever made. They made sure my rent was paid. They made sure I was able to buy the equipment to start new programs. Without them, I don't know where I would be at right now as a business owner.
But you had to do some hard work yourself, right?
Yes.
I mean, you had to save up some money to get the business going as well.
Yes, they matched your dollar, so what they gave me, I put in as well.
And talk about just coming up on a year anniversary. I mean, in a couple months, it'll be a year since you opened your business. Any big plans?
Yes. So I plan on having my grand opening at my 1-year anniversary. I'm also going to have my retirement party, because if anyone could have told me that I would retire at the age of 33, I would have been like, what? They said 65. No, I was able to retire. So I'm going to have a nice party. I'm going to invite all my students back and just enjoy it, because 1 year in business, whew, it's a very joyful thing.
And Madison, talk about just how you all give businesses a leg up, because I think it's the 7th year is like when you can consider yourself you made it. But I mean, there are no guarantees, of course, but how important is it to get off to a great start?
It's so important because we know that, getting like those startup costs is what's, so difficult. The equipment, the rent when you're not even open yet, right? You're not making a revenue on your business, but you're completing build out, so you're having to pay rent. So all of those things really take an impact. And people are putting their savings and their personal dollars into that. And so if we can assist with that early stage, we're hopefully setting them up for success. So they're not starting in the hole, right? They can have that grant up front, get them off the ground a little bit. And so hopefully by the end of the time we're done dispersing their grant, they're able to have their doors open and making a revenue so that they can just kind of keep building.
All right. And again, how can people find out more about Motor City Match?
Yeah, so MotorCityMatch.com, we have the information there, and we're very active on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the things, and so we're going to be blasting out information. So the moment Round 28 opens, everyone's going to know about it, and so definitely be following us, signing up on the website to get an email when we do launch it, because we're really excited to relaunch. We have some small changes coming, but we're really excited to relaunch, and so just get all the information that you can.
And I know one thing in the city, we have a Motor City Match ribbon cutting all the time. So,
yes.
And some amazing businesses. I mean, from restaurants to so many other things. Are there any requirements in terms of what type of business?
So we do require has to be a for-profit business, and the only businesses that we don't work with are cannabis-based businesses because of the structure of our funding, typically. But there's really no requirements. We've done a very wide spectrum. We're getting ready to hopefully open a meat processing facility here soon.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was a first for me. I pet the goat and then later realized what the purpose of the goat was, and it was a little bit heartbreaking to me. So I think we've seen it all. We've really, really seen it all.
Poor goat.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
All right. Any final words, Annette?
Yes, if you are an entrepreneur and you are thinking about opening a business, but you don't think you're in the right space, you are not going to ever be in that right space. Start today. Get it started. Look at all the programs that Detroit have to offer. It's so many programs. Detroit is really putting their people on, so get started today. And if you need some help, I'm always available. Reach out to me and ask me some questions. I don't mind.
Awesome. Any questions, Dodie?
Is there a residential requirement in terms of, sometimes people open up businesses in the city that don't live in the city? And I know you were giving the stats early on. So can you go over those again? Because I missed that part, and maybe somebody else did too.
Okay.
There may be someone that's got a business that's in Detroit. They may possibly live in Southfield or Highland Park, which is Detroit anyway, but, those kind of places. So can you go back over that just so we know?
Yeah, absolutely. So the plan and develop tracks, so those are non-place-based tracks. So those are the ones where we're helping you write a business plan and helping you find a location. We do require Detroit residency for those tracks. But then for our design track and our cash tracks, which we require for a space, those have to be located within the city, but you can be outside of the city to apply as long as that address for the building that we're focusing on is in the city.
But they could live outside the city.
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. We are here with Madison and with Annette talking about Motor City Match. We really appreciate you taking time out on your Sunday to be with us to uplift this program. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Motor City Match is making the dream of owning a business come true in Detroit. You could get up to $50,000 in grants to kickstart your business. Motor City Match, providing opportunity for Detroit small businesses. Sign up today at MotorCityMatch.com. Motor City Match is making the dream of owning a business come true in Detroit. You could get up to $50,000 in grants to kickstart your business. We will help you plan, launch, and grow your business. Help you find and design the perfect space for your business. Plus, you can snag some funding for build-outs and startups. Motor City Match, providing opportunity for Detroit small businesses. Sign up today at MotorCityMatch.com.
I was really a ninth grade dropout who had no education, but I was determined to make something of myself for my baby.
Like Annette, you can get a grant to start your business.
So Motor City Match matched the funds I put into my business. They awarded me $20,000. So now I'm able to focus solely on First Step Healthcare training, all because I live in Detroit.
Motor City Match, providing opportunity for Detroit small businesses. Sign up today at MotorCityMatch.com.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, and father of 5. I'm also an expert on drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids, and there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
And lead the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Your mental health is important to your future well-being. So is voting. Voting isn't just about you, it's about all of us, shaping our future. Now, we know this election has been a lot. Mentally draining, overwhelming at times, and really easy to tune out. But there are 41 million members of our generation who can vote in this election. Together, we have an enormous power to impact our future well-being. We have already proven our ability to create change, so let's keep at it. Join millions around the country to make our voices heard. Take the 3 steps. Check your registration, check in with yourself, and then check your voting plan. Head to rockthevote.org. That's rockthevote.org today to take control of your future.
My thing won't go up. I got it up.
Well, welcome back to Detroit for Life here on WGPR Hot 107.5. Dodie, what a great discussion about Motor City Match and Annette.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Isn't she amazing? And and to admit that, you weren't the best child to your mama.
Right.
I
hope mom was listening.
Yeah, I hope mom, but what a tribute to her mother, though. Honestly, too. It's a full circle moment, and she's very committed, to what she believes in, so that's great. I'm very happy for her, the billboards and everything. It's a good moment for her. Yeah, radio ads, it's a great moment for her.
Yes, and now we have a dynamic guest, Anton Bryant. He is the director of the city's Department of Planning and Development, and he's here to talk about the Detroit Master Plan of Policies.
Wow. Well, thank you, Vicki. I'm glad to be dynamic. That's almost as good as effervescent.
And tall.
So we'll go with that. I'm glad for that. Yeah. Pleasure to be here.
He does stand above the crowd.
Yes, he does.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
And so the Master Plan of Policies, I know that this was kicked off earlier this year. So talk about exactly what this is. I know it's a process that the city goes through to try to map out the future.
Well, that's exactly it, Vicki, and I appreciate it. The Master Plan of Policies is the official name. It's required by the state of Michigan and by most municipalities to chart a vision for the future. The last one that was cited by the city of Detroit was from 2009. And typically a master plan has a shelf life of 7 to 10 years. So we are due for a master plan. And we're very excited to engage with the community. I think everyone can appreciate that the city has changed a little bit since 2009.
A little bit?
Just a tad. And so it is incumbent upon us not only to fulfill our legislative responsibility, but more importantly, allow for the residents of this great city to have a voice in what the future looks like. And we started the process in the late spring with engagement. After discussions with City Council and at the direction of the mayor, we actually lengthened our engagement calendar to really go through pretty much almost the end of this year. And so we've been to every council district. We've been to all the block parties and the food halls and to the barbershops and really trying to ensure that we're hearing from Detroiters about what they would love to see for their city.
And what do they want to see? What are you learning from these visits?
Well, it's interesting. The first part of the process, we spent about 3 to 4 months analyzing all of the previous strategic plan work that we had done. The planning department has completed over 14 neighborhood framework plans across various parts of the city, and in each department has had their own strategic plan as well. And so we spent time analyzing those reports and drawing out the recommendations that came from them, and then tried to draw a through line through all of those conclusions. What we then began to do was actively engage with the residents. And some of the consistent themes have been people want to see more access to housing. They want to see more access to affordable housing. A common theme has been safety. And safety has a very broad context, and so we're going to spend the next several months really delving into what that means. And then there's been other concerns about mobility, interestingly enough. We are the Motor City, but there have been a lot of inquiries about how many different ways we can traverse around the city outside of your cars. And so we're going to be delving into that to really begin to draw out what people want to see from that idea about mobility.
And then when you talk about the various departments, they have their own plans, so they're part of this whole process.
We have a whole process called an interdepartmental steering committee, where we're going to meet quarterly with all the department heads in the city of Detroit. Most of the departments have their own plan, right? So the Department of Waters, the Sewage Department, they have their own strategic plan. Parks and Rec has a strategic plan about where they're going to prioritize resources. What we are looking to do as a comprehensive master plan by Detroiters for Detroiters is to collate these ideas along with those of the residents and then begin to prioritize. What is the best ways we should go from a policy standpoint? One of the things that is very specific is that the master plan does not identify projects themselves, but really is designed to provide policy, so it's a policy document. So it's not going to say we need to do 1,000 homes in District 2 by 2030, but really it says we really need to focus on more affordable housing and increase that by a percentage by 5 years. And so it's really how do you put policy in place to then enable to put the strategic programs underneath that.
Okay. And in terms of engagement, I know you're not done yet. Not at all.
No, ma'am.
So what's the next step in terms of engagement?
Engagement, so the first phase, we had a City Voices tour where we intentionally went to where residents were and had a series of games and questions to be able to hear what people's primary focuses are. We were intentional to go where residents were. We didn't have the city's meeting is going to be here downtown at KMAC or nothing like that. We essentially went to where residents were. And so that's why I said, we were at Eastern Market, or we were at, several times we were on the Avenue of Fashion. We would go to where people were already co-locating, and then we would set up a table and have these opportunities to engage. Now we're going to move shortly into what we call pulse checks, where we're going to do a deeper dive into certain specific elements. Like if someone is focused on housing, excuse me, what part of housing do you really want to focus on? What is your definition of affordable housing? What kinds of housing typology would you like to see? So you're getting a much deeper investigation in that specific topic. When people bring up safety, one of the things I want to really draw out and hear from residents, do you see safety as purely with law enforcement and how are you safe in your home? Is safety protection in a changing economic environment? Is safety meaning how your kids get back and forth to school and how they're safe in their scholastic environment? So how many different ways are we slicing, if you will, that pie? And we really are going to use those deeper dives to allow for residents to really begin to ensure that their specific points are being heard so we can capture and define policies based on that.
All right. And so when will that phase start?
So that phase is going to start right after the New Year. We're going to be doing that for probably 90 days or so. One of the things I want to ensure, let everyone know, this is going to be a long process. It was originally, the whole master plan was ideally going to go to council. It goes to City Planning Commission first as a draft, and then it goes, once they pass it, it goes to council for passage there. And it was slated originally to go to passage in November of next year. But now, because we've been very intentional to not only have engagement, but we're also using an equity lens as well to ensure that we hear from residents and that they are able to opine on the draft as well. We're looking at late February, early March of 2026 to get it to City Council.
All right. And I know the mayor recruited you from Houston.
Yes.
So what's your journey been like? You've been with the city. Yeah.
I've been here now 3.5 years, and it feels like it's winter right now. With 50 degrees, that is the midst of winter, and, I had to get used to that. But no, the journey has been fine. I've gotten used to it. Detroit has been a phenomenal city and has embraced myself and my family. My kids love it. I have a son in high school, a daughter in middle school. My wife is enjoying it. So we've had a great time. I have to put this out there. Up until I've been to 7 Lions games.
7? Okay.
I've been to 7 Lions games. Now, that's not the oh wow part. The oh wow part is that up until the very last game I went to, I had never seen a Lions loss. So I was trying to tell people, if you got sweet tickets, you need to holler at me because I make wins happen. But no, it's been great. We've had a wonderful time here. The city is not only rich in power and in character and in personality, but I think the future is incredibly bright, and it's going to be one that's going to be led by some of the most phenomenal people I've ever met.
Yeah, and what has your role in the city, what has that meant to you? Because I know that it's a lot of work. I know you are everywhere.
It's important, though. I mean, it's important, and when you're doing things that you love, it's a bit of a cliche, but it doesn't feel like work, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly immersed in ensuring that people have a say in the way the city is formed. And you look at planning from a very comprehensive nature. Many people associate planning with the built environment, right? They think about, the plan department looks at how far the building is from the street, and the plan department, them the ones that put the bike lanes out. First of all, we don't put all the bike lanes out there. That's not quite accurate.
Let's clear that up.
Let's clear that part up. But it is more than just the physical representation of the city, but we're really looking at how a city grows and how a city moves and how organic a city actually is. A city is, and so urban planning at its core is looking at how that city comes to be and how that city can thrive. And seeing the city of Detroit thrive over the last several years has been exciting. Most people don't know outside of the city, and some even inside the city, don't know that crime has gone down every year. You and I are in those same meetings, we look at it.
Right.
Kudos to Chief White and the tremendous team he's assembled. But crime has gone down. Property values have gone up. People are moving back. So it's really trending tremendously in the right direction. It's been exciting to play a role in that, and I look forward to continuing to do that in the near future.
And what kind of other things? I know you're focused on this master plan of policies, but tell folks some of the other things on your plate.
How much time do we have?
Give us the highlights.
We're really excited. We're wrapping up a neighborhood framework plan in Brightmoor. That's been another process that we actually extended. Kudos to Councilmember Pro Tem James Tate and his team, who've been a great partner. They asked us to extend that engagement, and so we've been working with the residents in that area to define what their vision will look like. We've recently wrapped up a neighborhood framework plan in Greater Warren Connor that was incredibly well received. And so we're very focused, and everyone knows and is starting to see the great work that's happening in that area. We've been a part of much of the work that you're seeing along Dexter Avenue. So we're really excited to see that corridor come back to life. In January, we'll be starting a neighborhood framework plan for Denby Whittier. That's been on the books for a little while now, but we're very excited to kind of get into the weeds with the community out there, the business owners as well as the residents. We are always active in our historic neighborhoods. That group is under my purview, and we've been very intentional in preserving but also working with the residents that reside in those neighborhoods. We're constantly working with the Planning Commission on the zoning updates, and so Zone Detroit, under the direction of my dear friend, Director Marcel Todd, they're coming to a close with that effort, so we're really excited to assist them with that. Working with the mayor's office on the solar initiative in many of the neighborhoods, so we're playing on a partnership capacity on that one. We are a couple of other of the major planning initiatives. We're also working, and this one is a big one. We're doing a neighborhood framework plan and a zoning and land use study for I-375.
Right, yeah,
and,
that's a huge project.
We all are well aware of the damage that the federal highway system did nationally to communities of color all across the country, and Detroit is in that group. And 375, as you know, essentially wiped out Black Bottom and Paradise Valley. And so for us to be able to now engage in this neighborhood framework plan, engaging not only the residents, but the business owners, and frankly, descendants of business owners from Hastings Street in that conversation, we think is going to be very productive, as well as really honing in on what the zoning and land use definitions should be for real estate that will come as a result of that construction. So we got a bit. Those are just the high level ones.
Yeah, like I said, you're a busy man. Did you have a question for Antoine?
No, I'm amazed. I'm just amazed at how this is laid out, and the city continues to amaze me. The growth,
Yes.
that we have experienced. It took a ways to get to a situation where the growth was really going to be important. And now to just see continued growth and see great people come into the city of Detroit and lend their talents and become transplants.
Oh, I'm transplant.
We're not letting him leave.
No, I know that in past years it's been some unkind things that have been said in regards to people that come in as carpetbaggers, but there's a difference between a carpetbagger and a transplant.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're a fantastic transplant. And
Thank you. I appreciate
You seem very
that.
committed. And go Lions.
Yes.
You said they haven't lost. They're doing great
you-
since he's been here, so that's great.
Yeah, it's an away game today.
Yeah.
So
It's an away game. They're playing at Green Bay. Now, y'all have to pray for me because next weekend I'm part of the Detroit Takeover contingent in Houston. I was actually already going to Houston for another engagement, but they're going to be playing. Now, I will wear my Detroit stuff, but since I got a bunch of people in Houston, I'm going to need all y'all protection. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
it.
Well, at least you're gonna be wearing the right gear.
I got my jacket. I got it in the car right now, actually. I got it in the car.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No, I wasn't. I said I'm here, right? I'm here.
Right.
I got
All right,
contractors
well,
at my house right now. I'm paying a
represent.
lot of money to get my house touched up.
But
so.
Detroit gear carries a lot of clout.
100%.
It carries a lot of
100%.
clout. So
It is iconic.
wear it proudly.
Everybody knows.
We got you.
That's right. Yeah, represent.
Everybody knows.
Represent.
But what's exciting, to your point, actually, what's really exciting is I remember giving a lecture. I think it was at the Detroit Policy Forum or something like that in 2022, and I ended the lecture saying that by the end of 24. Everybody's going to be talking about Detroit across the country. And I think we're probably a year early on that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
For sure.
when no matter where I go nationally, people are asking about Detroit. Vicky, I know you get inquiries all across the area.
for sure.
I get people that are calling from various cities about how did y'all do X and how did y'all do Y? And, we don't got it all figured out. Let's be clear, right? Which is why we're so busy. But I think we're setting a tremendous model together of how a city can grow and thrive from within.
All right. Well, thank you so much for giving up part of your Sunday
Oh,
to
it's my
be
pleasure.
here with us. We certainly appreciate you taking the time. So you have a great rest of your Sunday.
Vicky, stop lying to these
Bryant.
folks. Every time you call, I pick up and I answer. That's not a problem. It's my pleasure.
She has that effect on people.
I do appreciate that. All right, we'll be right back with Rochelle Riley, our director of the ACE office.
Motor City Match is making the dream of owning a business come true in Detroit. You could get up to $50,000 in grants to kickstart your business. Motor City Match, providing opportunity for Detroit small businesses. Sign up today at MotorCityMatch.com. Motor City Match is making the dream of owning a business come true in Detroit. You could get up to $50,000 in grants to kickstart your business. We will help you plan, launch, and grow your business. Help you find and design the perfect space for your business. Plus, you can snag some funding for build-outs and startups. Motor City Match, providing opportunity for Detroit small businesses. Sign up today at MotorCityMatch.com.
are back. Dodie Johnson here, and the wonderful Vicki Thomas. He cracked on me and said, I'm not effervescent, but, that was funny. But, man, Vic, this is a great show. Every Sunday, every first Sunday, the information that we're giving about the city of Detroit, the achievements, it has been phenomenal. The programs. I mean, there is so much going on and so many opportunities for not just Detroiters, but people that want to have an investment in Detroit. So many opportunities for them to really get on board and have the assistance and do great things in the city.
Yeah, and talk about more opportunities. We are joined by the wonderfully talented Rochelle Riley, the director of the City of Detroit's Arts, Culture, and Entrepreneurship Department. And Rochelle, you've got an opportunity for artists, correct, related to a Joe Louis statue, another Joe Louis statue.
I absolutely do. I am thrilled to be here this morning, and I want to thank you for Detroit for Life, because, I moved here planning to stay 2 years, and it's life for me. This is year 24. And I can tell you that Joe Louis, who everybody knows as not only a boxer, but the boxer who knocked out Max Schmeling,
right?
So that all of a sudden people literally saw American prowess and power and what a black man could do. Well, after his successful boxing career, he began playing golf, local and regional tournaments. He loved Rackham over on the west side. And so he decided to set up these Joe Louis Open tournaments. And he did it because some of the best black players in the country could not play in the PGA tournaments. He said, well, we're going to create a tournament so people can see how good they are. And that was how they could get in. So the Joe Louis Open Golf Tournament became this major sports event nationally. Between 1941 and 1981, he had 8 of them. They were all held in Detroit, had black golfers come from around the country. It increased their exposure. He taught golf to young kids, to women, so all of a sudden golf became real. And this was the most amazing thing. And, as a columnist, we used to learn. We journalists learn stuff all the time. I did not know that he was the first African-American to play in a PGA tournament.
I knew that only from I had to help Brad Dick with a presentation he did maybe a couple of weeks ago when Highline Symposium came to
that
Detroit.
Was from our research. Yes,
that was from our research, and I knew he was a golfer. I did not know about the tournaments, though. And then I also knew he loved horses and had a horse farm as well. So he was just a multi-talented human being.
Renaissance man. And his daughter Joyce and I are trying to make sure people see the whole and complete Joe Louis. That is more than just a boxer. His work with horses. He was a businessman and owned businesses in Detroit. The work with golf. So this particular statue, we did an open call for something that represents him as a golfer, and his legacy is what he did for golf. So it's a open call that we just made, and it's called the Outside the Ring statue.
Oh, wow. I love it.
One of several Outside the Ring statues, and it's going to be on the Joe Louis Greenway, which, as you know, is almost 27 miles. It encircles the city and connects us to neighborhoods all over the place. It's one of the best ideas ever. And as you know, that came about because of a column I wrote where if you tear down the Joe Louis Arena, what's going to happen to the Joe Louis name?
Right.
And Mayor Mike Duggan jumped right on it and said, we got this ring that we want to put around the city. Can we name it for that? Would that work? I said, that would be great. So some of the Greenway, as you know, has already been done.
Oh, it's just amazing, right?
When Dodie was talking about the stuff that's happening in Detroit, you cannot live here and not be excited. If not, you just don't know what's going on.
Right.
There's so much. I've lived in 7 cities as a journalist, and I can tell you I have never lived in a city. I've lived in Dallas, Washington. I've lived in cities where there's so much devotion to opportunity and community engagement and making sure that people are involved in what's going on.
And you're doing it too. I mean, so tell people about how they can. If we have an artist out there listening, how can they take advantage of this opportunity or be among those that are considered for this great honor?
Absolutely. What you have to do, we do open calls for everything, murals, statues, everything. You create a packet. All of the explanation is on the website, DetroitArtsAndCulture.com, or you can just go to Detroit City Government and put in, Detroit ACE, and it'll take you to the page that explains everything you need to do. We're going to want you to talk about your ability to do community engagement, which is number 1 with the mayor, and what type of art or statues you've done before. If you're a sculptor who has experience, show us what you've done. And what we're trying to do is we map this out over the course of a year because we would like to unveil it anniversary of the first Joe Louis Open tournament that was held back in the day. So I think the biggest thing that we want to do is make sure that all of these artists who literally get picked to do things in other cities know that they can do it in Detroit.
Yeah, so I see here that August 12th of 2025.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's next year.
Yes, next year.
Oh, wow.
Which will come fast.
It's very fast. And unlike murals that might take 2 weeks to a month, this is something because of the foundries, because this is a bronze statue. So the bottom line is they have to create the statue, the artist does, the sculptor, and they mold it. And I love that I went to an artist studio to watch how this works. Then it has to go to a foundry to be cast in bronze. So
it's a process.
It's a process.
And so I see the main thing that you should know when the applications are due. So don't sleep on this. November 15th.
That's right. So let me just tell you, we did the open call. We're going to have a selection panel seated. The applications are due on November 15th of 2024. And it may seem like a shorter time than we usually do for statues, but we've already given them the theme. So it's not like they have to come up with something from scratch that's like, it's golf. This particular one is about the amazing contributions he made to golf. The community meeting to meet the finalists will be the week before Thanksgiving. And then in March, the statue will go to the foundry, and in July, it'll be completed, and in August, it'll be unveiled on the Greenway.
Wow. Any idea where along the Greenway it will go?
Well,
just yet?
Right now, they're looking at what they call the trailheads, the spaces on and off the Greenways. They're looking at the one on Grand River because they want it on a high-traffic area where you can drive past and see it, you can walk up and see it, and it's one of the Greenway areas that will cross a street. So the Greenway is on this side of Grand River, you cross over Grand River, and it continues. So it's one of those places that shows that we're going around the whole city.
So, Dodie, somebody said Rochelle has the best job in the city. She's doing some great. She's doing some great things, bringing in the rich and famous and showcasing. I mean, I think the work you've done with our artists here is just amazing.
Thank you.
And
Thank
giving
you
them so
much.
many opportunities. But what else are you up to?
Oh, my God, the list is...
So let's talk about the other statue, unfortunately.
But you know what? Let me tell you, I'm so glad I have an opportunity out loud and proud to thank the literally best police department in the country, the Detroit Police Department. Alexander Jefferson, Lieutenant Colonel, war hero, Tuskegee Airman, POW during the war. I mean, these were the guys who flew bombers so they could drop the bombs, which means if they didn't do their jobs, the bombs didn't get dropped, the war didn't get... So they saved World War II. And the white pilots, who, you know, there was plenty of racism, but they didn't care. They wanted the Red Tails, the Tuskegee Airmen, to escort them so they could get back home. So we dedicated a statue to him on a plaza that I commissioned on the field that's named for him at Rouge Park. It was so amazing last June. The mayor, congressional representatives, the Tuskegee Airmen in their blue jackets. And I want you to know that somebody went out there and stole that statue, cut it off at the ankles, stole the statue. When I got the call, I literally had to sit down because I said, who would dishonor someone so honorable, someone so amazing? Something that means so much, not just to African American, but to American history. Well, I want you to know DPD got the call, and before 24 hours were up, they had found the statue and the two people who allegedly stole it in a backyard in southwest Detroit. That statue is now in evidence. It's damaged because they were trying to break it down. Bronze is 90% copper. So we are I don't want to assume. I'm just saying one of the things they're investigating is whether they did it to get the copper and take it to scrap yards to sell.
That's a shame.
They're going to jail.
Either way.
Let me tell you, anybody who wants to try and do that to another statue in the city of Detroit, you will go to jail. DPD will find you.
And I mean, I remember like when we had the groundbreaking, and then, you know, for that particular project, and then to see it come, you know, to completion and the ribbon cutting, and
it was
and then somebody has the nerve to cut it off at the ankles.
And, you know, this was interesting. Somebody tried to do this in Wichita where they stole a Jackie Robinson statue. Cut it off at the ankles because you can't get it out of the base, and all that was left was the boots. So when the mayor's press secretary, who got the call, sent me the picture, and all I saw was his feet left, that just tore me up. And I said, I don't know where they are. I don't care if I got to drive around looking for it. We're going to find them. I didn't have to do a thing. DPD was on it like that. The good news is the artist has already said that he can fix it. It's going to be totally repaired, totally recast. And our donors, and this is a scoop for you, Vicki.
All right.
Our donors, my friends Cynthia and Edsel Ford, have agreed to pay for the statue to be redone.
That is amazing.
So it is set. It is set. It is happening. It's going to be.
Thank you to the Fords.
Yeah, we will not be stopped.
That's right. That's right. All right. So one more time, the open call. We just did that this week.
Yes, just did that on Halloween. The selection panel is going to be seated after the election. We're not doing anything until after the election. I want to encourage everybody to remember there's an election and to vote. Exercise your right to be a part of the solution.
That's right.
If you don't vote, you are part of the problem.
That's right.
And then November 15th, the applications are due. November 21st, we'll have a community meeting with the business owners and nearby residents in that area just so they can meet the finalists. And then we will announce the winner, and they will have until March 28th to finish that first phase.
All right. And
so in the spring, we'll be able to see, just sort of what I like to visit the studio when it's almost done and you can see what it's looking like. It takes your breath away.
Wow. I want to go with you. And before we run out of time, you had another big event. Was it last week? Ace Arts Alley in Old Redford neighborhood with Motor City Blightbusters.
Let me tell you, we opened the first of 9 arts alleys that we're transforming around the city. And we didn't pick the alleys. They picked us. These were people who were already having community events in these alleys that were torn up, dilapidated. They did the best they could. They're all going to be amazing. And I mean, we're not talking going out and putting some paint. We hired a contractor to go in and tear them totally up, make sure the sewers are right, that the drains are right. I never knew what some of these things were under the street until this project. And then we're going to put the art on top of it, and they're going to be beautiful. We opened the first one at Artist Village with
John George,
Alicia George. I was going to say deputy mayor, but my friend Malia Howard is our new deputy mayor. But in his last appearance as deputy mayor, Todd Bettison was there and spoke so amazingly about how important art is to draw people to Detroit, to honor the people who live here, but to draw more people to what's going here. I've had calls from 7 other cities about what we're doing here, and I've gone to their cities to speak, to Akron. Got a call from Tulsa I have to tell you about next time I'm on, to Philadelphia. People see what we're doing. So Detroit doesn't have to go and ask anybody how to do anything. People are now looking at us saying, how are you doing that? We want to do that. Can you tell us how to do it?
Well, you just keep doing your thing, Rochelle Riley. And we are just about out of time.
Yeah, just about out of time. But you know what? You are a great ambassador for us, Rochelle.
For sure.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say that Todd Bettison was a tremendous and is a tremendous ambassador for the city of Detroit. I mean, it's been my privilege, thanks to Vicki and the mayor's office, to have been able to work with him so closely on things, and he is just a great ambassador.
I'm so proud of him and thrilled to work with him, and I'm thrilled to work with Vicki. Thank you for this Detroit for Life.
Yes.
I want the music. I want to tell people what we're doing, and I so appreciate you doing it.
All right. Well, thank you again, Rochelle Riley, here on Detroit for Life, Hot 107.5 WGPR. This is it, Dodie. Another show in the books.
Another one down, and we will see you the first Sunday
in December.
Detroit for Life.
December. Oh,
yeah. On Hot 107 WGPR. Take care.